Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of The Locals, where I'm going around the community and talking to local entrepreneurs. Here with me today is a YouTube creator that I met at Vid Summit. Michael Ronit is the creator of Earthquake Sim, the world's largest 3D earthquake simulation channel on YouTube, with a dedicated audience of 68,000 subscribers and over 18 million views globally. Not bad. His channel specializes in producing highly realistic 3D earthquake simulations, showcasing a variety of virtual structures and building types from around the world. Michael's work has garnered attention from international media outlets and has been utilized by renowned geoscience communicators and educational YouTube channels. His content was recently featured in the Curiosity Channel's documentary, Forecasting the Big One, and will be featured in the upcoming show on Netflix called Scanning History. It's my pleasure to welcome YouTuber as well as classical pianist and overall great guy, Michael Ronit.
Hi, Ryan.
It's a pleasure.
So good seeing you again after the Vid Summit.
Yes,
time flies quickly.
It does fly quickly, and we connected over at Vid Summit down in Dallas. That was my first time down there. I ran into someone that created content for HVAC and someone that has a boating repair service. It's literally all over the spectrum to be a successful YouTuber. Mr. Beast has kind of been like a massive force to showcase that you can profit on this, but you don't need such a massive subscriber force, and you can actually have very niche audiences. When I met you and connected with you, you were telling me about Earthquake Sim. Tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into this area.
I grew up in Romania, so I felt a lot of earthquakes when I was young, and so they kind of they made me think, oh my God, really, when an earthquake happens, the whole building shakes? Wait, the whole city? Wait, the whole country? So that idea of how much energy goes into these, type of events, it really made me curious about our natural world. I discovered this YouTube channel. His name is Kai Kostak, and he publishes all sorts of physics simulations of car crashes or airplane crashes. I found one or two videos on his channel where he simulated some earthquakes. That was my kind of eureka moment. Nobody else is really doing this in the world. It would be so interesting to see how an office building behaves in an earthquake. It's so hard to comprehend what's going on.
It's a tragic event, but at the same time, understanding the science behind it is really fascinating. And also, if you create simulations on this, it can help educate people, maybe what to expect. Almost similar to how meteorologists help with tornadic activity and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. You reached a really good point. I could probably show people the earthquake magnitude comparison so that people see the science behind how the damage progresses as the earthquake intensity increases. I've never seen videos like this on YouTube or anywhere else on the internet. I'm able to create something like this that would be super memorable, a big educational component to it.
Where'd you go to university, and did you study something along the lines of what you're doing now?
In high school, I studied architecture, and that really helped me understand how a building, how the structural integrity of a building works. In college, I studied classical piano performance, which I totally enjoyed it. I didn't do it because my parents pushed me or anything.
It's just a passion, and it sounds like you've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, since I was basically 6 years old. And then for my master's, I didn't finish my master's, but I did finish one semester of it at Manhattan School of Music in New York. I just got to a point in my life when I just had a lot of things going on. I took a leave of absence. I never went back to my master's, and that's when I realized that I've been a creator my whole life, and I just don't want to be part of other people telling me what to do in order to achieve that or get a diploma or stuff. I have enough resources that I know I can start creating something right now, and it's going to be valuable and useful.
Your channel, Earthquake Sim, is very unique and has its own niche markets. When did you have that light bulb moment and realize, I actually can create a community on Earthquake Sim and use my passions for content creation to make something out of this?
So my first experience as a content creator was actually with my first YouTube channel, which is Pardon My Piano, so it's my piano channel.
Cool.
When I realized that I can start creating content on YouTube, I'd say I was actually kind of crazy. You don't have the guarantee that whatever you start on YouTube will grow.
You don't, it's a risk.
Right, it was a big risk, but like I remember that since day one, I took this endeavor as if it was my full-time job. I literally asked
You took it seriously.
I took it seriously. I remember I asked my parents, hey guys, I'm gonna get into this crazy endeavor where I don't think I'm gonna be making any money for like the next year or next 2 years. Right. Are you guys willing to help me? I pretended that I don't have my parents to help me. I'm completely on my own, and I need to make this work.
That mentality helps light a fire under your ass to drive harder.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it really pushed me, and I realized that, at one point, something will happen.
It's going to take a while for you to monetize. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, from Vid Summit, I think you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watched?
Watch time hours, yeah.
So how long did it take you to get to that, that benchmark?
My piano channel, it took me 11 months.
Oh wow, that's pretty impressive.
What's the fastest way I can produce content, right? And obviously learning a new piece would involve reading all the notes and stuff. It would be a way longer process than learning something that I've already learned before. Most watch time hours that I've got on that channel were not from my piano recordings, but they were from music test videos.
Today, you are going to find out exactly how musically gifted you are on a scale from 0 to 15.
Realized that, this type of content works better, so I'm just gonna do that more. Let's go back to the simulation channel. It was also about 11 months. I noticed that YouTube always prioritizes videos that are longer. Like anything that's more than 8 minutes, way easier to monetize on YouTube if you post longer videos.
What have you been doing to kind of pay the bills in the short term? Like, are you a Starbucks barista? Like, are you just doing whatever you can to kind of make ends meet?
When I started the Earthquake channel, about a month in, one of my videos on my piano channel took off. The video that took off, basically, it's a music test where I'm testing people's ability to identify pitches. The idea behind it was so brilliant. Like, I didn't even know it at that time when I created it, but it just resonated with so many people.
Is the second note A, higher, or B, lower than the first note? The correct answer is A, higher.
And I was like, what, $300 a day, $400 a day? I think it made me like $17,000 in 1 month.
That's insane.
Yes. That one video is still providing me like almost $100 a day.
That's crazy.
For something that I've spent 6 hours doing. The other videos were basically generating maybe $10, $15.
So you had that, and I assume a little bit of a healthy savings account to help you get through.
Yeah, basically.
It is terrifying, especially when you're used to like a 9-to-5 type job. And I come from a very kind of old-fashioned household where that's the norm. How many subscribers do you have on your piano channel?
There's 57,000.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
You're killing it.
And just because of that one video, okay. So
really?
I think at one point, maybe in a year or so.
Yeah.
Let's say I don't publish anything on my piano channel, I will probably get that play button just because of that one video. The chances of this happening for someone are very low.
For one video to kind of support an
For
overall
one video
channel?
to support the whole channel, yeah.
Your main channel, Earthquake Sim, has nearly 71,000 subscribers. I never would have thought about this, but yes, these are simulations based off of actual locations around the world. If there is, unfortunately, a natural disaster or an earthquake that happens, people flock to it, because I was looking at some of your videos and I'm like, oh, this reminds me of when my country was hit by an earthquake, and how we had to adapt in that situation. You've talked about kind of the virality of and some of the outlier videos that have helped you gain more subscribers. Talk to me a little bit about these inflection points.
This is basically when the earthquake hit Turkey. So from 1,000 subscribers to 5,000 subscribers.
You had a video about an earthquake in Turkey, correct?
Well, no, but I had a video of a building that looked very similar to all the buildings that collapsed in Turkey.
So it was wild, just happenstance, coincidence.
Because all of a sudden people realized that, oh wow, there's a simulation of a building that really looks like the building that collapsed next to me, right? So then people from Turkey, all of these subscribers, by the way, were from Turkey, because it was so relevant to them that, oh wow, we can actually see why these buildings collapsed. The second one, this is basically where I made my supermarket video. It was my first earthquake magnitude comparison video. And because it was different than my other videos and people were watching for longer, the YouTube kind of liked it and it pushed it to more people. I mean, the subscribers that I had up until that moment, they thought, oh, this is interesting, right? Because we can watch more intensities and see how the damage progresses as the earthquake intensity increases.
In this period of time, around June 2023, you had an uptick because of a supermarket video that went viral.
Yeah.
But that was also when you had started hearing from other like educational and geographical type content channels to help grow your platform. Yeah. How did that all kind of align?
Yeah. I got contacted by this Italian YouTube channel. They only post videos in Italian. But that was a very interesting moment for me because I'm like, all of a sudden I realized that my channel, the simulations that I make, there's no language barrier. Like people could use this type of content everywhere in the world.
Right, it's completely visual, so you understand what's going on.
Yeah, so basically they asked me, oh, we kind of want to make another video about what happened in Turkey and what kind of buildings collapsed. I realized that, oh, if like a big channel like that, they have, I think, 2 million subscribers. This other bump was basically when the 4.8 earthquake happened in New Jersey, and earthquakes don't really happen in that area. It created so much interest. It was all over the news for a week. This was my first longer collaboration with Geology Hub. He made a video about how the future 9.0 earthquake on the Cascadia subduction zone would look like. Basically, it would affect the whole west coast of the United States.
Talk a little bit about some of your favorite videos or ones that kind of stand out to you on your main channel.
Basically made a simulation of Times Square in New York City.
Cool.
It just looks so realistic. I've put so many objects in this simulation. There's maybe, I think, 35,000 objects in this simulation. Everything that you see that's built here responds to how the ground shakes, right? There's virtual objects, and these objects kind of, they represent virtual construction materials. Like, for example, the brick building over here is way weaker than a skyscraper that is made out of steel.
Nice little shameless plug there. Very clever.
I totally love the fact that I can customize textures. Like I can use whatever I want. I could literally take a screenshot right now of us talking. I can use it in a simulation. The hardest thing about this is building the model. Building this whole thing took me almost a month. I literally need to place every brick, place every column, the windows, you see these billboards and stuff like that. Like everything has to be placed manually, and that's really time consuming. This earthquake, I've imported the data from the L'Aquila earthquake that happened in Italy. Using real world data of earthquakes, I imported into the simulation.
I would like you to show me your most popular video. What do you think made this much more popular than anything else, and why do you think it resonated with people more?
Instead of comparing just earthquake magnitudes, I also compared different construction materials. So I kind of added another layer of interest to the video. And so people not only were seeing how the ground shaking gets stronger, but they also can see how different construction materials respond to earthquakes.
You're adding another layer to the visual storytelling.
Yeah. If I want to compare different construction materials, I have to make these buildings small.
And for illustrative purposes, they can be simple.
Like if I were a structural engineer right now, I would be like, these are not buildings. What is this?
These would fall immediately. You don't need an earthquake to help.
Right.
People, when they saw this, they're like, oh wait, my building is made out of concrete. Oh wait, my building is made out of steel. Like all of a sudden, it was more relevant to more people. This video was appealing to a wider audience, like more countries.
Why? Because you're not location based. It's not it's not Turkey, it's not here.
I love that we're doing this type of stuff because every time I talk to people about my channel, it just seems that whatever feedback you guys are providing me, it matches what I think is interesting on my channel, and it also matches what performs better.
It's more validation.
So it's almost like we're doing the YouTube algorithm in real life, and you're giving me the same exact data points, which is really cool.
The journey in creating your own business and doing a YouTube channel, it ain't pretty sometimes. It is a constant grind, trying to figure out what content resonates with an audience and such. What are some mistakes that you've made?
It's a very good question. I probably need to really think about it. But one thing that comes to my mind is that I kind of feel like, what if this is incorrect? What if this is not really realistic? Is there a way this is maybe creating fear-mongering and making people more scared? I think YouTube is a great place where you can freely share all sorts of scenarios. I think the biggest mistake was that I should have approached these video ideas with courage and just try them and just publish them and see what people say. Because you never know what might happen. The strongest data points you have is your audience. And if you don't try a video idea just because you're afraid of it, then you're never gonna know. You can't satisfy everybody. Even if they leave a negative comment or they backlash, I think in the long run, they would still kind of think about what they saw. And sooner or later, they will use that information in a constructive way. The key to being successful in life in general is if you really believe in what you're doing and you're presenting the information without any fear. I think another mistake that I've made was kind of just being afraid to reach out more to people. I mean, obviously when your channel grows so much, like at one point you kind of realize that you might need more people to help you out. Somebody who actually studies earthquakes, let's say, right? Or from like a civil engineer or from like a 3D animator, right? I think that was a big mistake, not reaching out enough. Since high school, I've kind of been more introvert in the sense that I'm just like, I'm gonna wait for people to reach out to me and stuff like that.
You have to be proactive.
But now I start to understand the value of being proactive and caring about what you do and believing in your work. Believing that, yeah, you do have flaws, but you want to make them better. You want to make an impression in the world.
I think entrepreneurship and doing your own thing, especially with the opportunities that YouTube has created, gives people more options. Well, again, I cannot thank you enough for your time. It's been cool to connect at Vid Summit, but then also notice that you were in the Chicagoland area, like myself, to be able to actually walk the walk, meet up, take the time and collaborate. I hope that you guys at home watching got some value out of this too. If you're interested in YouTube, interested in venturing out on your own, if you want to hear more incredible stories of people that are creating their own stuff, venturing out on their own, and you want to join us to pick their brains and learn more about them, you hit that subscribe button. See you next time.